Greetings. Hey, it's Susie Q. We're talking about different things when things are showing up in strange and weird ways. And so today we're talking about, I'm calling it the mood. So sometimes we get into these moods and states of consciousness that are, sometimes they're like, elating. We're like so excited and so extraordinary. But then sometimes the mood kind of shifts, and then you're maybe in a different way of processing. What can I do now? Because maybe 5 minutes ago I was feeling glorious and fantastic, and now I'm just kind of looking at something shifted so quickly for me. What was that? What was that meaning? And what did I need to know about that? So, the more that we kind of take a look at some of these questions about the mood, our mood, sometimes our mood is joy and elation and pleasure and joy and fun and goodness and family. Or it could also become a mood that where you're not 100%. You're not 100%. And you know it. You know it. You know that moment when you first start feeling that something different is happening. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what would be best for me. So I've got a few things that I could maybe help you support if you've got some moods, or maybe some low energy or low vibrations, or maybe working with whatever it is that you're achieving to have in your field. It could be related to relationships, it could be related to your body, the healing of your body, or it could be related to your capacity to create more abundance in your field. And so if you're kind of in a low vibe and you're in that mood, I'm in a mood. I'm like, my hands on my hips. I'm in a mood, people. Is that we have a few different ways of looking at it. And then to offset some of that moodiness, that maybe it hasn't been the best day or the best week or whatever, is we start noticing that there are other ways of looking at life through some of the lens of some of the experiences that we all have. We all have. It's kind of universal truths in a way. So sometimes when you look at a mood, you could make a few changes. And so I've got a list of a few of these. And so sometimes, I walk all morning in the morning in sunny Scottsdale, and I really enjoy and embrace these walks and noticing the birds and noticing the feathers. I'm always looking at feathers. But walking in early in the morning is really peaceful. It's a quiet time. It's a contemplative time. And I just acknowledge that walking has been very, very beneficial for me, especially if something I'm moody, or or maybe I'm not, But we start working with some of these kind of different states of being when we're in a different mood that's maybe not 100%. You could also take a look at some of the music. And when we look at music, we really want to look at more of the inspired music. And so some of the yoga music is beautiful. Some meditations would be beautiful. But when we're looking at that music, we really kind of feel, I think every one of us, when we really love what we like to hear with our music, it just starts kind of lighting up all the centers of our connection with here, boots on the ground, and then going back into spirit. So all of that music is really, really beneficial if you're in a situation when your mood or your vibe is a little bit low. You could also call a friend. So this morning I intentionally did this, and I've talked to a handful of friends this morning, and it's been really fun and joyful. A lot of times when I'm on the phone and connecting with other people, I'm an active listener. And so sometimes I like to just be a present to a person's experience and what they're doing and what they're engaging with. And so calling a friend or connecting with a friend, it'd be nice if you had coffee with somebody or maybe have lunch with a friend that you can really connect. And you may not even talk about the moodiness or anything or that negative energy, because when you're with a friend that you really love, all of that kind of starts kind of like going away. All those other feelings and emotions that were kind of moody, they kind of just start releasing or receding from the consciousness. Another thing you could do too when you're in this space of mood. I'm in a mood, people. I remember as a teenager, I was kind of moody. I think teenagers are kind of moody, but I know I was kind of in a way. But I was always kind of cracking up too, you know. Sometimes we could look at some of the breathing practices. So if you're in a situation and you're like not sure what to do and you don't know why you feel this kind of weird energy or the moodiness or maybe some low vibe, is you could do some breathing practices, and you could do diaphragmatic breathing. You could do a cleansing breath. There's many different levels of consciousness with breathing, and we could do this right now. I do this all the time in these videos, but we could do maybe 3 conscious diaphragmatic breathing practices, and we'll start now with breathing in. So I'm breathing in the beautiful prana, life force energy. I got big Buddha belly right now, just activating the diaphragm and really supporting my beautiful divinity. Now we're going to do the exhalation and drawing the spine, the navel all the way into the spine. Still holding with the exhalation. Okay. So breathing in again with the diaphragmatic breathing, big Buddha belly, still holding. Just allowing that beautiful inhalation to really support all the cells and all systems of our body. So now we're going to go with the exhalation, drawing the navel all the way into the spine. Then we're going to do one more time, breathing in. That's good. Big Buddha belly. Still holding the inhalation. Now we're going to move into the exhalation, drawing the navel all the way into the spine. So these are some, some things you could consider. If you've got some things that are going on, some negative stuff, or or maybe you're tired, but these are great tools. We've already talked about walking, getting some beautiful music that you love. And if you have a hobby or something, that would be super fun. I think my hobby is kind of the written material that I do. I put out a lot of content. I love to share and experience new things. So you might look at some of the things that you could say it's a hobby, or it could be something that you just love. It could be loving, taking care of a pet, or taking care of a friend too. It could be a hobby in a way, but you could be a painter, you could be a writer, you could be doing music, you could be creating new things, creating new ideas, creating new opportunities with business and more relationships. All these things are showing up. So moving from the breathing, we're going to go into what we call exercise. And so exercise is really a powerful agent. Sometimes you think you've got to I got to muscle it up, you're kind of maybe in a lower vibration with that moodiness. And then all of a sudden you notice that you don't have to spend too long with the exercise. You could do it as much as you want, but you could just do a few jumping jacks, or you could just go to the gym. If you've got a gym, I've got a gym like 3 miles from here. But we just start, accessing exercise. And a lot of us, it'd be good for us to get a little bit more muscle in our body, And so all of these things are helping us to really say, instead of just being in the house and just being kind of in a different state, you can go out and maybe meet new people at the gym, or when you're doing exercise plans. I kind of even want to do the Pure Barre, or some ballet. I used to love that as a kid. That would be really fun for me to get back into that space of feeling light in my body and just being on the bar. I just absolutely love it. Another thing, when you're kind of in this state of moodiness, I'm not suggesting you're moody, or I'm not suggesting I'm moody, but sometimes we can kind of take a look at some of the books that we have. And so here I've got some beautiful books, and they kind of give me inspired thoughts. Sometimes when I buy a book, I don't totally read it from the beginning to the end. I just open up a book and then I just see what's going to happen there. So I'm always working with different ways to support myself and for others. And so I have a lot of guidance through some of the books that could help me with sessions, or, even working at the chiropractic office with some beautiful books. All of these things are helping us, supporting us, and loving us. So these books are very, very powerful. And again, I don't go from beginning to end. I go kind of spiraling energy. So the next one, you could also look at some of the shows that you watch, some of the movies. We really encourage you, especially if you're in that like a mood, or a moodiness, is that you could go in and just go like, I wonder if I could find some nature shows. I remember when my mom was, when I was little, they were watching all these nature shows, and I thought, why are they watching nature shows? Well, back then it was like just really kind of sweet and kind of wonderful, and we just got to watch all the animals and then or even some other type of shows that are fun and lighthearted, and especially things that are funny. Funny shows are really, really good when you're really wanting to raise your vibration and have a better time. And then the last one we're going to talk about here is really about, that sense of self-love and self-care. That sense of self-love and care. And so when you're working with self-care, you're really acknowledging that you're doing some really great things. You're drinking your water, you're eating, or maybe I do intermittent fasting. It's been super fun and easy for me to do that. It's pretty passive. But with the more that we go into self-care and really love ourselves, and a lot of the things I do now are pretty natural. Like most of the things that I do with my own self, it's all natural. It's all live food. It's all natural. And then living in that space of self-love is that we really want to remind ourselves, especially if something shifted or things are changing, you start noticing that I can just put my hands, right here in the area of the heart, and just acknowledge myself, that I love myself and all my beauty and my magnificence. And I honor myself. I treat myself really yummy. I do all these practices that we were talking about. I just absolutely love myself. And the more that I love myself, then that starts emitting out from your auric field. And then you start having more guidance and more sense of connection with others. So you could say it's about you, right? But then the more that you expand that love within your preciousness, is that it just expands out. And then it starts magnifying with other people who are in the same place with that sense of self-love. And that sense of love it's free. A lot of this stuff that we're talking about, in essence, is kind of free. When you're looking at things, when you want to have it a little bit better, a little bit softer in your lifetime, and you want to, at the earliest onset of something is shifting and changing, that you can just go into a space and take some breathing practices, or move your body, take a walk down the street, look at some books to see if they inspire you. And what are you creating? There's all these beautiful states of consciousness that are so readily available, free. A lot of them are free. And then you can really experience the beauty and the majesty of our beautiful divine experience here on earth. So we'll see you soon, and namaste.